Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chico Jiu-Jitsu. Jeff here again. We've been working some transitions lately from our lockdown position. Worked on butterfly transitions last time. I want to today discuss something that I talked about briefly in my attack chains video. If you haven't seen that, there's a card on the top right now linking to it. But we discussed the transition to X guard, and I said I was going to cover that in a little bit more detail later on. We'll do that today. X guard, if you don't play a lot of it, it is one of the more maddening positions in jiu-jitsu. You get somebody underneath of you with a proper X guard who knows how to use it, it is virtually impossible to maintain your balance. It's an incredibly effective sweeping guard, and it's really good if you like to play the lockdown game and or you like to play the butterfly guard to really develop a good X guard game, because really take your sweeping potential up a lot, and being able to transition into that is really effective. I will show a couple different transitions today into X guard from different positions in the lockdown, and then also show you my favorite sort of mini X guard sweep that I do from a couple different positions, but it's easy to set up, and it's easier for me as a short guy to set up from mini X way down on the ground than when I've actually got the guy standing up. So good stuff, X guard, stay tuned. So I got my lockdown. I typically go to X guard from a double underhook position rather than having an overhook like I do from butterfly guard. X guard is one that I have to get really deep underneath of the guy to actually be able to make it be effective. And if he's got an underhook on me, I can't really get down deep underneath of him like I need to. One of my favorite places to set this up from, and this is what I showed during my attack chains video, is from the electric chair sweep. Specifically when I've got a big guy on top of me who is kind of stalling out my electric chair so I can't get all the way through the sweep. So I'll go ahead and I'll just grab the leg like we're going through electric chair. I start getting most of the way through. Typically if I get this far through, I just finish the electric chair. But if I've got somebody like Phil who's kind of pushing back into me like this, I just can't quite get this thing jacked up to where I need it to be. This is where my X guard transition comes. Let's spin just a little bit this way, other way. All right, there we go. So in my transition to X guard, this is similar to the butterfly transition in that I still need to maintain control of the far leg. So what I'm going to do is, once he gets me kind of flattened back out of my back here, I'm going to put the brakes on and then break my lockdown, and then similar to doing a stomp, I'm going to step on this leg. Because if I don't, Phil just back steps out, and then I'm going to lose that entirely. So break the lockdown, step, and then throw a butterfly hook in. What I need to do now is I need to elevate Phil up and then shoot my other foot inside. So now I've got a butterfly hook on his knee and then my higher hook up near his hip. To get to full X guard, I need to elevate him up, and now I've got my underhook over here that was on the electric chair. I've got my butterfly hook, and then I've got my inside hook here to cover the X guard, and this is where I ultimately want to get to. Even for a really big guy like Phil, trying to stand up right now and actually maintain balance, go ahead and stand. So he gets up and he's just trying to balance on top of these hooks. And this is annoying as all hell. I mean, it's very difficult for him to try to maintain his position. And there's all different manner of sweeps and stuff that we can do from here, knocking him back down. Just an incredibly effective sweeping position. So one more time from that electric chair position. I get my electric chair in place, jacking him up, trying to get there. Phil puts the brakes on, I can't go any farther. Cover. Butterfly, slide the other one in, and then push up to elevate into a proper X guard. Now if I can't get that, go ahead and come back down. And I'm here. I still actually have options from here. This is what I was talking about. It's sort of that mini X position. Go up this knee to the ground. Yeah. So Phil's got his knee down over here. I don't have him elevated up. I have my butterfly hook and I have my X hook in place to complete the X guard. But maybe a really big monster like this, I may not be able to get him pushed up. This is what I was talking about, is mini X. And so I've got a sweep I like to do from here But before I show you that, I want to show one more entry into the X guard. I can still get this from sort of a closer lockdown position. This is going to be similar to our butterfly transition in that if Phil's got his hips really close to mine, there's no room. So similar to butterfly, I want to try to maintain distance here for a little while I get this in place. But if I'm going X, I'd rather have this underhook. Unlike butterfly guard, where I have the overhook, but I'm going to do very, very similar transition, which is why I showed the butterfly transitions first. So I'm going to break, stomp or super stomp, turn this around, get my butterfly hook in place. And then a lot of times when I get this butterfly hook in place, I get guys kind of stepping up to where this knee is up and the foot is down. So step your foot up here. Right, so here. So I've got my butterfly hook in place, but he's kind of pushing into me, shutting my butterfly guard game down so I can't really get it to work. This leg is now just kind of hanging loose, not really doing much of anything. I admit this is kind of a short, tiny legs, super flexible way of getting this in place, but it does work, and if you can make it work, it's fantastic. From this really deep position underneath of him, I'm just going to extend my butterfly hook out a little bit to take a little bit of that weight off and clear room, and then this swivels in, and now I've got my mini X in place. I'm still down here on the ground, we're not elevated up, but I've got my X guard in place, and then I can shoot under and grab this, and now I made it to mini X. If I'm ready and I'm able to do it, I can still always try to push Phil up and go to a full proper X guard. But for mini X, there's a sweep that I like to do. It can be done from standing, but a really super short guy like me has a lot of difficulty doing it, and it's an overhead sweep. So let me show you how this is going to work. So I've got Phil down here on top of me. I've got my butterfly, I've got my X hook in place, and I have my underhook in place back here. Phil is not wanting me to lift him up and extend. So usually where I get this is where guys understand that they don't want to be extended, so they hook around my head and get like a collar tie, right? So now the more I'm trying to push up, especially against a big gorilla like Phil, I'm not going anywhere. He's not going up. But with this arm around my head, he now doesn't have a post to block a sweep back in that direction. So I'm going to maintain my underhook on the leg, and I'm going to pull this in tight, and then I'm going to take my feet, pull my toes back on both of my feet to lock in hard around here. And then what I'm going to do is, holding all this, I'm going to extend my legs out and then push them backwards, and I'll roll over top of him. And so where I come up is essentially, it's almost like a half guard position, but I actually have both of my legs X'd over top of his. So it's very easy for me to just kick my legs out at that point and just take the pass. So it's quasi half guard, but it really ends up in an easy side mount for me. It's a mini X sweep. Like I said, it works best for me from down. I know guys who are really tall and long who can do that while off balancing people while they're standing. If I try to do that little move, my legs are usually already extended out so much that as a short guy, I can't get that leverage from full X guard. But for mini X, it's like a custom made sweep for a short guy with hobbit legs to pull off. I've actually hit that on Phil a couple of times, and it's almost like the bigger they are and the smaller you are in comparison to them, the more easily it works. So mini X transition, lockdown, lockdown. I've got my double unders. I'm fighting here. I start going for my butterfly. Phil steps the knee up. Mini X transition. He's locked down around my head because he does not want me to stand him up. Underhook, foot clamp on the leg, extend, push up, roll straight back over. Already got a Navy ride down here. I can usually use that to turn down. There's that arm exposed. I can go into submissions from there. Lots of really good stuff, really good options from there. So, like I said in my attack chains video, we want to be able to throw in as much as we possibly can, as many different attacks, and being able to throw that X guard transition out and then work on a really good X guard game. Absolutely critical in my view to having a good half guard game is having equally dangerous other guards that you can easily transition out to. So Play around with that. Drop a comment down below if you got some other X-guard entries you like to use. I'd love to see what other people are doing with that position. And make sure if you like the video, hit the like button, really helps me out a lot, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you get a notification every single time we upload a new video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.